Hey Starburst, Gaynor again, and I'm going over some old cards. I'm wanting to use up scraps basically. Um, like I did this chevron card. I'm going to go back to an old one, which is the Starburst. I love them sort of cards, and I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and do a week of using scraps and decorating your cards in different ways. So I'm going to try my best anyway. So this is the second in the series. So yeah, we've done the chevron card. We're doing a Starburst card. We're going to do some other ones, and trust me, you'll enjoy them. But you can't beat a good old Starburst card. And I should have left my gaps slightly bigger, and then I wouldn't have had a little bit of a gap there, but I salvaged it by putting a tiny little slither in, and I don't think anyone would notice that I'd done anything wrong. I found some gorgeous stars, and all I did with those is go over them with my blends, and this was in the dark cherry cobbler. I just think they're so cute, and the papers I'm using are from the Making Memories. So if you remember me making a card a few weeks back with one of the sketches, I just went through. I haven't pulled any fresh papers out and nothing. I used this one because of the both sides. I didn't use any of that, so I suppose we could. You know, I haven't pulled any fresh papers out, if you know what I mean. I've used these. Again, both sides. Cute cards. I may need a slice or two more. The sentiment on the card is it's your day. Comes from a card kit I had from Stampin' Up. This was one of them, and I loved it, so I thought that was perfect. And I added a white star and a red cherry cobbler back, and then obviously some more white card. I think it's just really cute. So the papers, I've got some left over here. I've got these leftovers. Like again, I'm just using stuff that was in my scraps bin. I've got a few arrows made. Not many, but we're going to cut those together, and I'll tell you what sizes you'll need, roughly. This is just spare, but these are just all the scraps that I'm using. I don't know why I've got them. Well, I did. I was going to do a love art sentiment again, and then I thought, no, I did that on my chevron cards, though. Let's get rid of that little bit. But yeah, these are those. Perfect. I got these for Lola, and I think she'll enjoy one of those as a card as well. So let's see if I don't need any more pieces. Let's do cutting first. So how many of those have we got? We've got, they're about the same size, roughly. There's about ½ an inch gap in there. They're the smallest ones. So we've got enough pieces here, I reckon. I don't think we'll need to cut any more out of the book. But all you need to do is keep them all roughly 1.5 centimeters long, which these are. Just check, yeah, 1.5. And you'll want one at 4.5. And then you just cut from corner to corner. So we've got those. You'll need one of those. Wow, what's the length on this? You'll need one at 2.5 as well. Again, just cut corner to corner. And I'm going to do a few because I don't want just all pink. I want to try and alternate pink with red, pink with red, pink with red. You'll need one at 4. Cut corner to corner. Don't worry if you don't get the corners bang on, because that's going to be hidden anyway under your sentiment. And then you're going to need one at 3.5. And cut corner to corner. Because they've got different patterns on both sides, you can use them different ways. And then this, I love this one. So again, you're going to want this at 3. And oh, this one needs to be 1.5. It's not quite wide enough. There we go. And again, just cut corner to corner. Just have a look at what other papers we've got there. What's this one? Oh, we haven't got. Well, I'll do another one of these, but I'll do this in. You'll need 2 at 2.5 inches and 2 at 2 inches. That's the 2.5 by 1. And don't even throw these scraps away, because you can use those again, blocking on your cards to make scrap cards as well. So we've got a couple of those, and they're red on the other side, see? And then my last one is the 2-inch one. So let's get, that is 2 inches by 1.5. Like I say, the thicker pieces, you can block these on cards, make little shapes and stuff. And these are just for the smaller areas. I am going to cut. Let's see if that's wide enough. Yes, 1.5. I'm going to cut one of these, a long one. Because having a little bit of choice gives, and although it's plain on the back, but gives me plenty of chance. But look, I've got loads left over. I can cut this down to maybe the same width as this. And you could put that on against a card. Let me just straighten my mat. You know, you can block like and make smaller cards in between. You don't have to just have one shape. Just use up all your scraps. It's the best bit about card making. Thank you, Mr. Boyce. You're a star.
Oh, I spilled that.
Oh, you're a naughty boy. Thank you. I mean, we don't even have to just aim for the top corner. You could do it down the bottom. You can just have it anywhere. You can have your card this way. You can even do it halfway down and just leave half plain. It's entirely up to you. So I've got my card base, which is just a standard A4, cut in half, folded and scored at 4 1/8. And if you're American, yours will be 8.5 by 5.5. Scored and folded at 4 1/4. 4 1/4. So you'd need a piece then. Ours is 3 7/8 by 5 5/8 because of our standard card size. Yours would be 5 1/4 by 4. You don't need any extra pieces. And he has well and truly soaked my desk. Let me just grab a tissue. I've always got a roll. I hate coffee stains and tea stains and mucky areas. I think if you work in a clean area, then your projects turn out lovely and clean. But then I say that I always end up with glue all over my fingers. So I've got my extras, which I'm gonna. I might need to get another piece. Let's get something out my scraps bin. See, I just keep all my my card stock in here. My scraps stay with my designer series paper. So before we cut up any more, let's just check. No, I definitely can't get one out of there, but I can get another circle out of there. So that, again, I'll get something else out of that. It's not that I'm being mean or anything, it's just, you know, I like to, this is the 2-inch circle punch. I always pull it right up close and then just so you know you've got a full piece. Perfect. And that'll go in there for something else. Perfect. I'll use Whisper White to cut out my other circle then. So I'm going to layer those up. And then I've got the small stitched circle. This is the second smallest. So yeah, the second one up, and that fits in there beautifully. So let's see if I've got a piece. Oh, not quite. I always keep my no, not quite. Doesn't matter because I can grab one out of the drawer. place my circle on there. In fact, let's just do it this way round. There we go. That can go back in the drawer. Whoops. And I can cut my circle out of there for our sentiment later. Fits perfect. Probably get 2 out of that, maybe not. So they're all prepped, ready to go. You can, if you want, is cut yourself a little circle. It's just as a guide, and then decide where you want your starburst to come out from. So we don't need this right now. Pop that to one side. Likes to burnish both sides. Gives you a nice flatter card that way. So they can all stay on that one side. Like I say, you could draw a line now and then just start from the centre and work your way out. But give yourself a decent gap. I'm going to leave myself a slightly bigger one so I don't have this little slither left over. Or alternatively, if you do get down to the last piece and see a bigger gap, just cut one an extra 1/8 of an inch bigger and then diagonally cut it and it'll fit in there beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to add the circle again just to give me somewhere to aim for. And I think I'm going to keep my card this way round. So do we want it in the top corner? Do we want it in the bottom corner? I'm just going to glue away like mad. I'm going to close my eyes, I think, and then just pop it somewhere on the card, and then we'll work from there. No, I'm not. Again, I think I'm going to stick to, this top corner. It's all about using up what you've got, especially now we can't go out shopping. So your smaller pieces, I recommend you keep these obviously for these smaller areas. And if we want, do you know these, how wide is that one? Oh, it's only 1 inch. I mean, to save on even more paper, you could literally, measure, mark, and cut, and then do it. So it's entirely up to you. You will have a little bit of waste, not much, but when at the end of the day you are using scraps. So I always like to use the ones that I'm going to get the max out of. So I'm only going to lose that top bit. So now I know I'm only going to use that top bit. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to pull in. My little silicone mat. Just in case I do get any glue anywhere. It won't stick. So aim for the circle. Aim to try and keep that piece right along that edge, and then we can trim that off after. With this art glitter glue though, it goes off really quick, and I like to use my trimmer at the end to cut off the main pieces. So coffee time. Now I'm going to pick red. I'm going to alternate like I'm saying. So I'm just looking for all my small bits. There we go. I love this little floral one. Then I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap in between. And what I like to do is pinch, turn it over, and just glue that section from there down, because you can end up gluing too much. Again, just lay it down, about 1/8 of an inch gap, and it just wipes off here so easily. It's unreal. So it's up to you which way round you go. It's entirely up to you. So I've got little birds on one side and little swirls on the other, so that's how I'm going to alternate these. I haven't got any. Oh, I've got a star there. What's on that side? Oh, it's the red. So again, I'm just going to do the bottom bit. myself a bit of a 1/8 of an inch gap. Perfect. Love it. Just spin around. So we've had floral. This time we'll have a little bit of these stripes. Doesn't matter if you go over here, because I've added dimensionals. It doesn't matter if it gets a little bit bulky. So that's perfect. But you could do it in like a dark blue and a light blue for a little boy, or even for a gentleman even. So try and keep your gaps pretty even. And then just spin to win, as they say. You don't have to follow a pattern, but I think I might try to. So I know I've got a smaller piece here. Wow. And the bits you cut off, don't throw them away either, because they're the perfect width. You just have to find a new point. You could do these on 3x3 cards. It don't take long to do at all. Just have fun, isn't it? And like I say on here, it just comes off so easy. So now we're back to our floral. I remember doing this card about, oh, I don't know, 3 years ago, and a lady said, what a load of waste, what all that waste, look at it all. And I was like, no sweetheart, because I went on with the pieces that cut off and made 4 more cards. So don't feel like you're being a little bit wasteful. So now I can't keep that perfect, otherwise I'm going to come right off. As long as you keep your points in your circle. So I'll show you what I mean with just, let me just show you with this piece. I do like to use my trimmer. Right, let me show you now with these pieces. Don't worry about that, because that is going to get obviously glued down. So where's that long one? So you know we've got this point here. We just take that point and now put it back to that one. So you're not wasting these little bits either. So put it in on there, and that end this time. And you've still kept that 1.5 inch distance. Obviously you can't do it on all the cards, but you can do it on most. So now I've got another smaller piece. These little bits then, you could save those and pop them on little, like I say, little 3x3 cards. Or little 4x4 cards. Obviously this isn't going to work on here anymore, so these little bits will go on a smaller card for definite, so I can keep my pile there. That's not going to fit anywhere, but it doesn't matter. So we've gone floral with little birdie again. There he is. Oh, so cute. And that's not going to go to the end, so that'll go over for another card. That's perfect. Slightly wider gap. That's better. Just have fun. Love it. So birdie, and now this. I might have to cut. It's the one with the stars. There you go, Gaynor. All you have to do is turn it over. How's it going, do lolly? So keeping about 1/8 of an inch. You could do a set of these, like I'm saying, the smaller pieces. love it. Love it, love it, love it. I would prefer, let me see if I can take that off quickly. That's better. And keep that distance without going over too much. It's starting to look really nice. So we're back to our gorgeous long piece. Oh, I think I've supposed to have cut some at 5.5 as well. So let me just grab, yeah, 5.5. Sorry, 5. So 1.5. I think it's, yeah, I'm going to keep it that length because we can always trim off and put those bits, like I'm saying, towards our mini cards. Just keeping the length, keeping the length. Again, this is going to go with my pieces over there to make a block card. We're not up to that piece yet, but we have got another one. Where have I just put it? I'm going to Lally. Is that the one? No, that's the one. I'll keep that to one side. So I do have smaller pieces actually here. Perfect. Check my battery, that's okay. Yeah, we always stick a piece of DSP down, don't we? And then wonder what we're going to do with it. Or it's just a flat piece. And then make decoration for a little flower now. So we'll get away with a smaller piece before we have to chop into a bigger piece. Yes, we will. That's perfect. I mean, you don't even have to leave a gap. You can literally glue them right close to each other if you want, but I like to see the cards start coming through. So before we go too far, birdie next. I'm going to lay a couple of pieces down. So bird and then stripe. But I haven't got a long stripe, but in my book I do. And it's the one with the stars. Yeah. There it is. Imagine how many cards you'd make with all that, a whole book. Just doing this. So 1.5. And I'm going to do this one at 5. Perfect. I'm just going to cut that one across anyway because it's out. There we go. So we've got some extras. So I'm just now going to lay that on. Oh, that's perfect. So I'll stripe. And then what was after the stripe? Back to our long piece, which is here. So I'm only determining now how big the gap is between each of my pieces of cardstock. And then what's after that is the birdie again. Oh, look at that. Perfect. And I've got my gap, and I haven't had to put a tiny piece in, so they're the pieces we're going to use. That one's already glued down. My gap. Oh, let's I might have to peel that off quickly. That's better. You make sure you come over the edge. No one's, like I say, where's our stars? It's never going to get seen, see? Because that's where your sentiment's going. I'm just going to give this a quick rub. Perfect. So let's scoot those. We've got plenty there to make another card or two. And we got our blocky bits. So I'll do something. I'll come back and do a card, another card with blocking. So we have the birds and we have our stripe. Oh, wait there now, I'm missing the piece. It's the flower one I'm missing. There, see, flower, that flower, and then stripe after the bird. Yes, that's right. Stripe. And then it's back to our long piece. And then back to our bird. That's right. We did pull them out ready. Perfect. Lovely. Then our piece. I'll show you what else you can do with the bits that you will cut off as well in a minute. Let's just check that and that. Oh, that's perfect. And last but no means least, oh, the battery's getting there. Well, I think I should have enough just to finish this card. May have gone a bit overzealous with the glue on those last few pieces. That's all good. Stick it on my mat. I'll clean that in a minute. So again, you can use scissors or you can use the trimmer. I think I'll be playing it safe with my scissors this time. Try not to cut any of your card base because you don't want the sizes to go over, but to try and cut off all the pieces. I think they're really cheerful. It depends on what papers you pick as well. You can be really bright, cheerful and colourful. You can have springtime colours. I'll clean my scissors later as well. So, again, with the pieces that are left, I know you can get the diagonal ones again. So I'm going to do that with those. And I am going to make some smaller cards. So they can all be cut at an angle again. These can even be cut, like I'm saying, even smaller cards. These are going back. That one's perfect still. So they're going in my little pile. Obviously I can't do anything with that. Love it. And now I'm going to glue that on there. Just going to make sure you've got all your bits trimmed off. Oops, I'm smacking my card. And just a nice even border. Perfect. It looks messy until you actually get this piece on here. Then you think, wow, you know, you just made this lovely little masterpiece. And all that scraps. So let's just tally them together. That is sweet. So let's pop that to one side now and fetch my little machine in. We're going to be using that again in a minute. My plates. I like to cut the circle first because I know I'm going to get it bang on when I do the stamping. That didn't take long. Pop that out. Or maybe I should have moved it up. Maybe I'll get the smallest one. That'll cut. Because I like to cut any bits of scrap like that. Could even get a small oval out of it. I reckon I could, you know. And these are just going to go in my ovals, squares and circles tab that I've got to be saved. Look at that, perfect. Isn't that cute? Don't like to waste any of my Whisper White. Circle's gone back away. Girls, drop down to the bottom. I call the circles and ovals girls and the squares boys. I know, freaky. So that'll go in my tab later. Oh, there we go. And I'm using cherry cobbler again because of the card stock on the back. I know, yeah. Photopolymer. With the dark red. Click it into place. Just hold that down for a few seconds. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. Just leave that on there for a few minutes. Soon gets clear. Turn that over actually because it drips through. I've got the refill bottle coming soon, so oh, it's fell down, has it, Mr. Bice? I'm nearly done. Oh, smatter.
I'll wait a minute, then I'm going to put the envelope on it.
Okay, lovely. Oh, you're good minute.
Let me know.
Okay, darling, I will. So, I'm just going to attach our label now to here. And then you can just see that little red circle. I'm going to flip that on some dimensionals. Perfect. A little tab. I can put that on there now. You could add ribbons now and everything if you wanted to, but I haven't fetched any across. Pitching. So there we go. I mean, You could have this like this right now if you wanted to, but I've decided to have it on the side. So making sure you've cut all your little bits in there before you press down. There we go. There's those little stars. Again, I just coloured with the cherry cobbler. And I'm just popping one either side. And then I'm just going to scatter a few more. 1, 2, and 3. And there it is. There's that beautiful Starburst card in 2 different orientations. With my leftover bit, come back and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these leftover bits. I'll do a small 3x3 card as well. Maybe do it all in the same video. Maybe use those on a 3x3. These will go to make yet another Starburst card, because I'd like to have a couple handy for little girls' birthdays that are coming up. Or it doesn't even have to be a little girl. It can be a lady. How's that? So if you're on my birthday list and like a Starburst card, let me know. You could be getting one of these. But they're going to go to another card. These are going to go to something totally different. And then I'm going to make a mini one as well with those leftover bits. So I'll have to go now because my battery's running low. I hope to enjoy. Come back and see what I make with those. Till next time. Love you all. Bye.